Kellums.
Heavenly Father, we come together this evening to seek your wisdom, guidance, courage, and strength. Be with us, Lord, in our deliberations, and help us to be wise in the decisions that we make here tonight. Give us insight to lead with integrity, Father. Grant us the humility to always seek your will in all that we do and say. It's in your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Could remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So our next order of business is to swear in our new fiscal officer, Mr. John Dieters.
We need to move out of here.
Getting out of the background here.
No.
Yeah, something like that. Put your left hand on
Do we
the
have
Bible and
some
raise your right hand,
camera?
please. I state your name.
I, Jonathan Dieters,
Do hereby solemnly swear
do hereby solemnly swear
that I shall support the Constitution of the United States
that I shall support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
the resolutions of Sycamore Township,
the resolutions of Sycamore Township,
and that I shall faithfully,
and that I shall faithfully,
honestly,
honestly,
and impartially discharge the duties of fiscal officer,
one more time,
I shall faithfully, honestly, and impartially
and impartially
discharge the duties of fiscal officer
discharge the duties of fiscal officer
for Sycamore Township,
for
Hamilton
Sycamore
County,
Township,
Ohio,
Hamilton County, Ohio,
to which I have been appointed.
to which I have been appointed.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Hardly wedding vows, right? Congratulations. Oh, you're right. All right. Okay, photos? Oh, photos? Come on in. In. Right there. Here we go.
All right, ready?
Sure.
Jeez. Okay.
All right. Great. Thank you. Oh, which one? You?
It's official.
It's a gift.
Yeah.
If Mr. Dieters would note that all three trustees are present. I wanted to also take a moment to welcome another individual that is a new face up here today, and that is Mr. Jeff Ucotter. He is our new planning and zoning administrator, so welcome.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Next item on the agenda is approval of minutes.
Motion to approve. January 17th, 2023 minutes.
I will second that.
I guess, Mr. Dieters, will you call the roll?
Yes, Mr. James,
Aye.
Ms. Schwegman,
Aye.
Mr. Weedman.
Aye.
I guess I should have asked if there was any discussion of the minutes, but it sounds like
There
the
didn't
answer is
appear
no.
to be. None here? Didn't appear to be.
Sounds like the answer is no. Any comments, Mr. Ucotter? Any public comments? Do you have
We'll check and
anybody
see if there's
on our
anybody
list
signed up.
signed in up front?
I don't think there is.
Nope. All right. Next is the Sheriff Patrol report.
We have nothing to report from the sheriff's office.
Another short
those.
report.
We
Wow.
love those.
Looks like Chief Penny is out this evening. Do we have any EMS or fire report in his absence that we're aware of?
I do not know.
Okay. Planning and zoning report. Mr. Ucotter, that would be you.
I have nothing to report, but I do have two resolutions I'd like to present.
Okay.
Okay.
The first one, let's see here. Trying to get to the cover sheet here.
I don't think the cover sheet
Oh,
was
is
actually
it-
in the
is it not
electronic
on there?
packet.
Huh.
I look forward
Who's
to
got a
it.
copy of it, Tracy? Do you or?
I have it right here.
Okay.
The first one is for 1298 Third Avenue. The type of violation was rubbish, junk, and garbage. The complaint initiated was anonymous. The date of the complaint was 8/6 of 2022. The occupancy type is owner occupied. The date of violation letter was August 8th of 2022. The date of last inspection was February 6th of 2023. The communication with the owner or representative was unresponsive. Kevin's notes much trash, rubbish, and garbage all over the property. So I believe it's this one here. Yes.
Yes, that's it.
It's this one here. You can just see the trash throughout the property.
This guy's a repeat offender as well.
So this is resolution 2023
Resolution.
1.
We
No,
signed
that'll be
after we
filled
approved.
in later.
We'll fill it in later. Okay.
So it's a resolution providing for and authorizing removal of vegetation and garbage, refuse, and other debris, declaring nuisance for the property located at 12098 Third Avenue, Sycamore Township, Ohio 45249.
I move we
Motion.
approve the resolution as presented.
Do we have a second? Do we have a second, Mr. Booth?
Second.
Any discussion? Mr. Dieters, will you call the roll, please?
Mr. James?
Aye.
Ms. Schwagman?
Aye.
Mr. Weedman?
Aye.
The second public nuisance is for 12129 First Avenue. The type of violation is rubbish, junk, and garbage. The complaint initiated was anonymous. The date of complaint was 1/9 of 2023. Property type is owner occupied. Date of violation was 1/9 of 2023. Date of last inspection was February 6th of 2023. The owner was unresponsive. Kevin's notes are there's much trash, rubbish, and garbage in the rear and front porch. Here are the photos of those items. Resolution 23, supposed to be the second resolution, a resolution providing for and authorizing removal of vegetation, garbage, refuse, and other debris, and declaring a nuisance for the property located at 12129 First Avenue, Sycamore Township, Ohio 45249.
Motion to approve.
I'll second approval of this resolution.
Any discussion?
This guy's also a repeat offender, just for the record.
Mr. Dieters, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. James?
Aye.
Ms. Schwagman?
Aye.
Mr. Weedman?
Aye.
That's all I have.
Thank you.
Okay.
Roads, maintenance, and recreation. Mr. Riddleschoffer.
I have a resolution this evening for the board's consideration. It's a resolution approving a contract for the 2023 Reclamite Road Repair Project and dispensing with the second reading.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Mr. Dieters, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. James?
Aye.
Ms. Schwagman?
Aye.
Mr. Weedman?
Aye.
That is all I have tonight.
Steve, would you like to touch on the Cape Seal project that we're going to have coming up?
Yeah, we're currently working on an extensive pavement rehab program. It's a pavement preservation program. We are soliciting a proposal from a contractor. We expect to have a proposal back within the next couple of weeks. It's going to cover roughly 11 and a half miles of township road. It's going to be very extensive. We're going to need the citizens' cooperation throughout the project. And like I said, I hope to have that in the next couple meetings and present to the board.
Do we envision that will be clustered in one area, or will there be various roads throughout the township?
Yeah, we have it, it's about split. I think we have about 6.5 miles in the north section of the township and roughly 5 in the southern portion.
That's about 20% of all of our roads.
Yes, it
right?
is.
Yeah.
It's 25% of our roadway
great.
network. Yep.
That's great.
Which is good, because if you remember, we did about 20% of the new pavement
Yep.
2 years ago in 2021.
Yep.
So this is not pavement, this is Cape Seal. So
Perfect.
our roads are in great shape. Steve's done a great job.
I had a good mentor.
Good answer.
Rob Louie. And that is all I have, if you have any questions.
If I may add something as to that, I mentioned this to Steve before we started the meeting, but all of us were at the Ohio Township Association meeting recently, and in one of the presentations, which covered outstanding examples of uses of grants and funding to do road projects and other projects, Sycamore Township was one of the few that was actually featured in that, and it was the Kugler Mill Road project, which I know Steve played a big part in getting funding for, as did Tracy and others on staff. So good work, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wasn't even aware of that.
Anything else in road maintenance and recreation?
That is it.
That's it? All right. Law director report.
I have nothing to report.
Wow, how about that? That means next meeting's gonna be a bear. Administrative report, Mr. Kellums.
So the first thing I'd like to say, I should have reported it for Chief. He didn't give me a report, but as you know, there was a big fire up on Montgomery Road at, I believe it's Cincinnati Cart Company.
Yes.
I believe is the name. There was about anywhere from 75 to 100 golf carts were lost, depending on what report year. But that black smoke was seen from downtown and all over the place. It was amazing. So our crews did a great job. All the buildings were saved. All the damage was contained to the carts that were outside. So our hats off to them.
That's great.
So the next thing I have, let's talk about electric aggregation. As you know, we ended our aggregation program as we did our gas. We started our gas back up, though. Our last rate for gas aggregation was 5.19 cents per kilowatt hour. We were trying to get something up and running before summer, before the usage goes up so high with air conditioning. I know Duke procured 20% of their auction volume in September of last year at 11.5 cents per kilowatt hour, and they're looking to procure the remaining 80% on February 21st. Their default supply rate is 9.5 cents per kilowatt hour. It looks like we're going to be somewhere around 7.5. The lowest that we've seen so far is 7.35. So I would like you to make a motion, if you would consider it, to allow me to sign an aggregation agreement with whatever supplier suggested by Energy Alliance at a rate not to exceed 7.5 cents per kilowatt hour for a term not to exceed 24 months. And that would start in May of 2023. I know there's two suppliers right now that are kind of going back and forth as to rates. So I think if we can get in 7.5 or lower, we'd be in good shape for our residents.
I'll make the motion to allow our administrator to sign an agreement with Energy Alliance for a rate not to exceed 7.5 cents per kilowatt hour, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
And I will second that. I understand Deer Park has just done the same thing at the same rate, by the way.
Yeah, I think with it being a mild winter, it's probably a mild-ish winter so far. This is probably the window. Any other discussion? Mr. Dieters, would you call the roll?
Mr. James?
Aye.
Ms. Schwegman?
Aye.
Mr. Weedman?
Aye.
Okay, next, I'd just like to touch for a minute for our residents in Heightmeyer that we met with Duke tonight. They have been putting together, they did a 7-year study for us. We met with our government affairs liaison, their vegetation specialist, and the director of operations. They've done a very thorough study. It has come down to 3.5 events per year for the last 7 years. I know there was some talk about some underground and what Amberley was able to do in talking to them. The outage rate for Amberley at that time was 12 outages a year, and that's how they were able to qualify for that, which is considerably more than 3.5. but they have also already done some trimming. They're going through they're going to do another assessment with another trimming. They're going in starting tomorrow, actually, to assess one large dead tree that they know needs to come down. But out of the 13 sustained events, 12 were caused by vegetation. So I know there's been some talk about, was it vegetation or was it equipment? And the vast majority of these have been from vegetation. So, we're going to need a lot of cooperation from the residents because everything, as we know, is in backyards. They're going to have to get back in there and do a lot of trimming. And they're also going to start a full circuit assessment for the whole area beginning in April, and there'll be we'll have some more communication about that. I know Mr. Weedman has been working hand in hand with Adam Coker from the neighborhood, who's been the point man. Chad Schaefer's our point man from Duke, and Tom has been the point man for the township. I know on the last outage, Adam called Tom right away, who called, I believe Tom called Keith Hughes that time, Director of Operations, and it was taken care of right away. But Duke is working hard at it. There has been a lot of communication. We appreciate their efforts. Tom, did you have anything you want to add to that?
I would just add that we have a pretty good working relationship, at least so far, with Duke on this issue, after many years of attempting and not getting very far. I would discourage all of the residents. I know that Mr. James had suggested over the weekend that they all contact PUCO.
Actually, I did not.
You did. I have a copy of it.
I suggested that in the email I sent to Duke's regional president, that my recommendation in the past had been to do that.
It doesn't say in the past.
And I passed on that email to the
Don't
residents.
interrupt me,
for them to
please.
see.
Don't interrupt me.
I'm sorry, you misstated
Yeah,
what I said.
yeah.
Go ahead.
So I would just discourage the residents from contacting PUCO. When I originally contacted the president of Duke, I made an agreement with her that we would withhold a formal request to PUCO based on the fact that she was willing to go out of her way to make sure we can try to address this problem. We got a good working relationship, whether social media rants from people kind of undermine the process. So please just sit tight. We're working very hard on it, and we hope to have a good resolution on this.
I do think it's helpful to have one point of contact and one point of communication so that there are not mixed messages coming from Duke or from the residents. We're fortunate that we have an individual who sat in this meeting a few weeks ago who offered to be the point person for the neighborhood on this particular topic, and has been in communication with Mr. Weedman, who has in turn been in communication with Duke. And I think keeping that very clean line of communication is important so that everybody's getting the same information at the same point in time, that we're respecting the agreements that are made, and that we as the township don't have to then go back and apologize to people for mistakes and errors and misdirection. So I think it sounds like we are making headway with Duke. I was not in the meeting that the two of you are in this afternoon, but I think it's important that we maintain that working relationship with Duke. It sounds like they're making some headway immediately, starting tomorrow, which I think is great news. That's encouraging. And that there'll be additional studies done in the spring. So, I would encourage folks to. I live in the neighborhood too, so I would just ask everyone to take a breath. Social media has its place, but on a topic like this, where we are getting communication from Duke directly, to sit tight and kind of follow those direct lines of communication so that we make certain that everyone's getting the same information at the same time. I thank everybody here for their efforts in working with Duke and communicating with them and getting some resolutions. So thanks to all, and look forward to next steps. I look forward to seeing the tree trimming trucks in the neighborhood starting tomorrow. So that will be exciting. So that's good news.
And if I may add to that, I don't disagree with any of that. And Tom, I then did tell the residents when there was confusion that I recommended they not complain to PUCO. But it was not clear you had made an agreement with Duke's local president, because that wasn't communicated to the rest of the board. So please share the information so we do have.
So I did communicate that to the point man in your neighborhood, yes. Adam, who told me he told you exactly what happened. So you clearly understood that. For you to suggest suggest in your email where it says, my recommendation to the neighbors has been that they should contact PUCO with their complaints, since nothing else seems to have gotten Duke's attention about the situation in recent years. Yeah, so that's probably not helpful to our cause when we've already gotten a good dialogue going to end the problem. That undermines the process. I'm just asking I'm not asking you. You can do as you please, but I'm asking the rest of the residents to refrain from sending torpedoing Duke on social media, and to refrain from going to the PUCO with a complaint. That's all I'm saying.
I agree, and that it was a quote from what I sent to Duke's president that morning, having not gotten a report from anyone else as to this previously, other than Adam in the neighborhood, as to what you had told him. But my recommendation in our prior meeting, you will recall, as we were brainstorming for solutions, one of them was complain to PUCO. That was my recommendation at the time. I agree we should not. I can't believe this has become contentious, by the way. We are all working to make the power work better there, and we had a very
We just need one message, that's all.
Do we feel confident that we have a clear path?
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay,
So,
good. So,
Tom, I'll just ask if
we
you
can
were
move
in
on.
contact with Duke, please inform the rest of the board in addition to point people within the neighborhood, and that would be helpful, and then we're all in one page.
I will
So please
I will
inform Mr.
communicate. I will
Kellums.
communicate that with Mr. Kellums,
Exactly,
and he can
distri-
move that to the board as he
And he
pleases.
can communicate to us, and then that way we ensure we speak with one voice on all this and achieve the goal we're trying to achieve. Communications are key as to all of this. So
Mr.
thanks.
Kellums, next topic.
Next, I have a resolution requesting the county auditor to make advance payments of taxes and dispensing with a second reading.
Motion.
I'll second the motion to approve the resolution.
Any discussion? Mr. Dieters, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. James.
Aye.
Ms. Schwagman.
Aye.
Mr. Weedman.
Aye.
The second resolution I have is a resolution authorizing and directing a transfer of funds for economic development purposes to Sycamore Township CIC Incorporated, the designated community improvement corporation of Sycamore Township, and dispensing with the second reading.
Motion.
I'll second the motion to approve that resolution.
Any discussion? Mr. Dieters, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. James.
Aye.
Ms. Schwagman.
Aye.
Mr. Weedman.
Aye.
Okay, next, purchase orders over 5,000. I only have two. These are both for the spin doctors. They have to be done separately. One is for the deposit that goes to the agency, and the other one is to the music. So PO number 23-83 to North Star Artists LLC for $12,500. This is the deposit for the spin doctors. And PO number 23-84 to Music of the Spin Doctors Incorporated for $12,500, and that is the balance of the contract.
Motion to approve purchase orders over 5,000.
I will second.
Any discussion? Mr. Dieters?
Mr. James.
Aye.
Ms. Schwagman.
Aye.
Mr. Weedman.
Aye.
Mr. Dieters, fiscal officer report.
Yes, and I'll be brief, as it's my first meeting. For cash receipts, we have $4,489,229.27. For disbursements, we have $572,424.26. Complete listing of the checks and cash receipts is located in the meeting packet. And just briefly, I'd like to thank Rob Porter for all the help in transitioning in the last couple weeks. He's been a great help. I'd like to thank the trustees, and I'd also like to thank the residents for trusting me to do this job.
And I'm going to make a motion to approve bills and receipts.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Mr. Dieters?
Mr. James.
Aye.
Ms. Schwagman.
Aye.
Mr. Weedman.
Aye.
Trustee comments?
I don't really have anything. I did have lunch today with, we have a new community bank in Sycamore Township. It's in the Redstone Building, and I did have an opportunity to have lunch with the president today, and he is interested in engaging in participating in activities in Sycamore Township. So we welcome to Sycamore Township, and we look forward to working with him.
I had the pleasure of attending that ribbon cutting a few weeks back. So they have a giant hot air balloon, which was actually kind of fun to see. And I was not offering to go up in it in the beginning of January, just so you know. Come back in August and I might take you up on it.
It was
But
not Chinese, was it, though?
oh, no, it was not. It had a lovely logo on the front of it. So no, we were very glad to have Heartland Bank in Sycamore Township. Mr. James.
A few things. First of all, just because of the discussion a few minutes ago, things don't need to be contentious, please. Let's all work together and let's communicate. So I hope we can all make efforts to continue doing that. Welcome to John. It's great to have you here. I was expecting Tracy at least once to say Mr. Porter when she turned that way too, and she didn't yet. So that's good. But old habits die hard. It's great to have you here. Welcome to Jeff also, your first public meeting behind the scenes. You've been doing great things already, so it's very nice to have you on board. So nice having you here. And that's all I've got. Thank you.
I will echo those comments. Welcome to our new faces up here. We're very glad to have you. And I wanted to mention, I think Mr. James had mentioned even earlier, most of us here at the township were up at the Ohio Township Association meeting a couple weeks ago, where we learned lots of good information about best practices from various townships and organizations around the state of Ohio, and pending legislation and all sorts of good stuff. So it's always good to spend time together and learn from other townships in the state of Ohio. So other than that, we have a few announcements. President's Holiday, Monday, February 20th, 2023. The township offices are closed. Additionally, on February 22nd, 2023, the originally scheduled Board of Zoning Appeals meeting has been canceled. For all other scheduled meeting events, please see the published calendar on our township website. Final item on the agenda here is executive session. We would like to adjourn into executive session as permitted by Ohio Revised Code, Section 121.22, G1, to consider the compensation of a public employee.
Motion?
I'll second that we do so.
And I'm trying to think I guess we need to take a roll. I guess we need to take a roll
Yes.
call on that.
Yep.
Yeah, roll call.
Mr. James?
Aye.
Ms. Schwagman?
Aye.
Mr. Weedman?
Aye.
And who do we want in that meeting, Mr. Kellums?
It would be Mr. Dieters, the 3 trustees, Mr. Barbier, and myself.
Very good.
7:27.
All right, we're back in session from executive session. Mr. Dieters, can you call the roll?
Mr. James?
I'm here.
Ms. Schwagman?
Present.
Mr. Weedman?
Present.
No action was taken in executive session.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You're adjourned.
Adjourned.